Welcome to the Funeral Funds Life Insurance Podcast. I'm your host, Randy Vandervate from Funeral Funds of America, and you can find us at funeralfunds.com. That's funeral, Funds.com. Whether you're interested in term life, whole life, annuities, disability, business continuation, or final expense life insurance funding, we have you covered. Our team of experienced professionals will guide you through the complexities of insurance products to help you make an informed decision. In this podcast, I'm going to be discussing 7 common questions about burial insurance. Let's dive right in. Our number one point is, how is burial insurance different than traditional life insurance? So traditional life insurance is typically what most people think about that would be term life insurance, which means you get a policy that for the next 10, 20, or 30 years, if you die during that time, it will pay out. And when that 10, 20, or 30-year period is done, the policy just ends. Or if it doesn't end, you can continue it on, but they will increase the price massively because now you're 10, 20, or 30 years older. A good example would be is if you have a 30-year mortgage, a lot of times people would want to get a 30-year life insurance plan that if somebody died in the next 30 years, the mortgage would be paid off. So burial insurance is different because it's underwritten with a different product. It's underwritten with whole life insurance. So what term life insurance means it lasts for a specific period of time, a specific term. Whole life insurance is exactly like the name says, last your whole life. Most insurance companies with their whole life insurance is going to last until age 121 years old, and nobody lives that long. So it is a permanent lifetime policy versus a temporary policy. Now, when you look at the pricing between the two, term life insurance is always going to be less expensive than whole life. I think I read some statistics that only about 3% of term life insurance policies pay out. Well, what that means is if more people are putting in premiums into those policies than they're paying out, they can actually offer that insurance at a lower price. With whole life insurance, that's going to last your whole life, you're guaranteed to die, right? And if you've got the policy in force, you're guaranteed to die while the policy is in force. So that's the big difference. So with term life insurance, the insurance companies are making this bet that fewer people will die and they'll be able to keep more of that money. And with final expense whole life burial insurance, the insurance companies know everybody's going to die. There's a 100% certainty. There's a 100% certainty they're going to have to pay out that claim. And they just average that risk over thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people. And they get that insurance as low as they can. But just understand, it's always going to be more expensive than traditional life insurance. I think I've outlived 3 term life insurance policies in my life. And I wasn't disappointed. You know, I never wanted those policies to pay out in the first place. But they were actually there just God forbid something happened and I left this earth sooner than I thought, that a home would be paid off, that my family would have some money in my absence and things like that. So when you outlive a term life insurance policy, it's actually a day to celebrate. But, you know, by the same token, if you don't have some whole life insurance in place, then at some point in the future, your family's going to really be struggling to come up with money for burial, cremation, or final expenses. So our number 2 common question is, who's eligible for burial insurance? Well, if you're going with a captive insurance company or a captive insurance agent, they only have one company. It's one company. The agent works for one company. That's the only product they can sell. If you don't fit the underwriting requirements, which could be age, that could be health, that could be financial, criminal history, a whole bunch of different things. If you don't fit their qualifications, you can't get their insurance and you're out of luck. So it's either that or they'll sell you a higher risk product that's kind of built within that product that's going to end up costing you a lot more money. So we've got some insurance companies that go from age 50 to 85. We've got one insurance company that goes from age 18 to up to age 89. And there's also companies out there for children, from newborn all the way up to age 18. So Because we're a broker, we have access to all those different insurance companies, and therefore our eligibility rates are really high. And typically that means we can find you an insurance company, even if you've got health problems. We specialize in first day coverage, and every insurance company out there has different underwriting questions and different underwriting requirements. So if you don't match up with one company, we can typically just divert over to another company and get you that first day coverage. Our number three topic is, how much does burial insurance cost? Well, that's kind of a broad subject there. Number one, we'd recommend you go to our website at funeralfunds.com, funeral, Funds.com. And we've got free quoters on just about every page. And you can just write in your birthday, your gender, smoker, non-smoker, some other info, and it will allow you to pull up the quoter that we use with our clients. It'll show you all the best insurance companies in your state with all the lowest rates. And that's going to be your best way to get accurate pricing. And then call us at 888-862-9456, and we can help you understand exactly what you're going to qualify for. But let me give you some kind of base information on this. So the cost of the insurance is going to be based off your age. I think most people understand that if you get insurance at age 50, it's going to be less expensive than if you wait until age 80. And then also male versus female. Females cost less to insure than males. Reason is, females, as a rule, statistically, they live longer than us guys. So they're going to be less expensive to insure. And then you've got factors like smoker or non-smoker. So non-smokers get better rates than smokers. And if you haven't smoked in the last 12 months, you can qualify for first day coverage as a non-smoker as long as you meet the other requirements. And then the other eligibility part is just the insurance underwriting. You've got to answer some specific questions that they're going to ask you, and we can help you out with that. Again, we've got a 90 to 95% approval rate for first day coverage or benefits. So the fourth topic is, what's the process for obtaining burial insurance? Well, there's a number of different ways to do this. If you watch TV a lot, you've seen those 990 something plans out there, right? And they make everything sound so easy, and it's like so affordable. And oh my gosh, Marge, we've put this off for so long. Let's call right now. It's only 990 something, right? Well, the challenge is those is those plans have 2-year waiting periods. So a lot of times when you see things that advertise on TV, it's just part of what's called a marketing funnel. They will try to get you on the phone or get your information so they can get you on the phone. And then when you're on the phone, they will say, hey, for 990 something, you're only going to get this much insurance, and that's not going to be enough. That's not going to cover your needs. Tell you what, let's get you more. And they start upselling you to more expensive coverage that's much more profitable to them. Because for that 990 something plan out there, we've seen that, it can be like as low as like $400 or something. So if you want to get buried, are you going to brag about getting a 990 something plan and you got $400 worth of coverage? No, I mean, geez. So just be very careful out there. You want first day coverage or benefits. So what would be involved there is, we recommend you just reach out to a broker like us at funeralfunds.com, and we can actually shop a whole bunch of different insurance companies for you versus just working for one company where the agent can only offer you one product. And then what would happen, at least with us, what would happen is we would find out kind of exactly what your needs are: burial, cremation, whatever it would be, how much money you think would be appropriate for that. We shop the different insurance companies. We ask you some preliminary health questions just to get an idea what you would qualify for. And then once we find a company and a rate that you like, what we then do is we go through the actual application questions just to make sure we didn't miss anything. And once we go through that part, our approval rate is 100% as long as we know everything. Occasionally, somebody will forget a medication. Typically, that's not an issue. But if it's a really significant medication, maybe it was a medication for Alzheimer's or dementia, that's kind of a big deal if you forget that. And it's sad, but we've had that happen before that, you know, people who have memory problems forget the medications they're on. But yeah, as a rule, we're terrific at what we do, and right around 90 to 95% approval for first day coverage or benefits. So we're terrific at it. Our number 5 point, what's the maximum benefit amount for burial insurance? Well, if you're looking at whole life insurance, most of the companies out there that are going to specialize in burial, cremation, final expense, whatever it is, um, it's going to be lower amounts of coverage. So it depends on the company. Most of the companies we work with will go up to 25,000. A lot of them start at 5,000 and go up to 25,000. Some of them go down to 2 or 3,000 through 25,000. Some go up to 30,000, and there's some companies that you can get 40,000, and one company maybe even 50,000. But I'll tell you, for the most part, you don't need 40 or $50,000 to pay for your your final expenses. We typically don't recommend that. We recommend just getting enough for what you actually need when that time comes, to protect your family and loved ones. Because most people that are looking at this insurance have been so busy living their lives that they haven't been thinking about death. And therefore, they're kind of shopping for these policies in their 60s, 70s, maybe even 80s. And getting $50,000 worth of coverage when you're 82 years old, it's going to be a sizable chunk, and we just don't recommend that. If you're 82 years old, you probably need, if you're getting buried, probably $10,000 to $12,000. You don't need 50,000. So we never recommend overinsuring on this insurance. Really use it for a specific purpose, kind of like a carpenter would use a specific tool for a specific purpose. So our number 6 point today is, are there any health requirements for burial insurance? Well, we've kind of touched on that throughout the whole podcast here. Yeah, with 2-year waiting period plans, there are no health questions at all, but you are penalized with a 2-year waiting period because they don't ask any health questions. With first day coverage or benefits, you get first day coverage, and you're also going to get the lowest pricing, and but they do ask health questions. But again, we work with enough different insurance companies. If you don't qualify for one due to some medical issue, we can typically just dodge to a different insurance company that will offer you coverage. So that's just the benefit of working with a broker who's actually on your side, fighting for you, helping you get the best deal, and making sure that your family and loved ones are protected. So the 7th and last question about burial insurance is, how are the claims handled for burial insurance policies? Well, typically what's going to happen when somebody passes away, the insurance company is 100% going to need a document that is filled out. You can call the insurance company. We can help you do that. And hey, say we had a death and we need to file a claim. There would be a document that they would send that you would have to fill out. And when you mail it back, you're going to need a certified copy of the death certificate. It can't be a photocopy. It's got to be original. So when you're talking with the coroner or, the funeral home, whoever's got the body, tell them that you actually need multiple copies of the death certificate, because you're going to need that to access different bank policies and all sorts of different things. So always get multiple copies. But yeah, that'll go into the insurance company, and then it'll go right into processing, and they'll issue a check for that right away. Now it depends how long it's been since since your policy's been in force. So within 2 years, if you die of a health or medical reason, the insurance companies do have the ability to investigate, because unfortunately, some people lie. Unfortunately, some people lie when applying for this insurance, and I myself, as an agent, may not know that. But I in the past, I had somebody, I got them approved for a first day coverage policy, and they passed about 12 months later. And when they when they investigated that, they'd found that the about a week or so before I'd ever spoken with the person, they were diagnosed with terminal cancer. And they didn't let me know that, and none of that had updated to their medical records or the prescription records, so the policy got approved, but the person lied, and then there's no requirement the life insurance company pay out a claim for somebody who committed fraud. And you always want to tell the truth on these policies, because when you lie about something, and you sign your name to it and you say, hey, legally everything I filled out and every question I've answered on this form is true, and that's a lie, and you're using that lie to potentially collect money, that's called insurance fraud. Now, of course, you're dead at that point, and they can't they can't get any more money or sue you or anything like that. But the negative fact is their family was expecting that money, and they didn't know that, that person who'd cared enough to try to get this policy had actually lied to do that. And you know, at any point in the policy, if you committed fraud at any point, whether 1 year out, 2 year out, 5 years out, insurance companies don't have to pay insurance claims if fraud was involved. So just don't do that. As long as you just answer the questions honestly, everything works perfectly. So, my name's Randy Vanderweit. I hope this podcast has been helpful to you. Funeral Funds of America can help you qualify for first day coverage or benefits at funeralfunds.com. That's funeral, funds.com. Our phone number is 888-862-9456. For more information about burial, cremation, final expense, life insurance, or funeral fund planning, check out our other podcasts or visit our YouTube channel at funeralfunds.tv. Grateful you visited our podcast today, and we will be blessed to help you with your final expense needs in the future. Until that day comes, stay safe, take care, and have a nice day. Bye bye.